Hello, hello, hello. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me today on this fantastic Wednesday. I see that some people are joining in already, so if you could just give me a short feedback if the picture is good, if the sound is good, so just for me to be sure that everything is okay. I would really appreciate that. If you just can write it in the chat. Dr. Ulrich, vielen Dank. Yes, I have my new microphone, Elgato, and I have the Canon webcam with me. So I did my homework, I did my preparation. So everything just to be sure that this next, I would say 30 to 40 minutes would be useful for you. I did my best to prepare the topics that might be interesting. And as you can see on the screen, the idea of this webinar was to actually provide our customers some updates regarding the clinical and production features, something that we didn't have before, but we have now. But when I was reviewing the number of registrations and signups, I noticed that there are a lot of new names, although we just did the limited promotion for this event. I definitely can see that the number of the new people is actually prevailing. So I did some adjustments, and in my presentation, I'm not going to be talking only about the new things, but also review the process of the liner production just a little bit more detailed as I was stating in the agenda. So let us begin. I think that everybody that wanted to join us joined us, and pünktlich, as we say in Germany, we start our our webinar. Once again, my name is Konstantin. I am the sales manager of eXceed, and I do the first communication with people, and also make sure that the first couple of orders go smooth. Later on, you will be, or you are already being supported by the support team. And before I actually start to go to the webinar itself, let me just clearly, shortly review the agenda for today's meeting. Basically, there will be four four topics. So I will quickly go to the aligner production process recap. Then I will show you what kind of treatment planning updates we have at the moment, what kind of aligner production updates we have, and just give you some information about the eXceed features, the new ones and old ones as well. So let us begin. If you have any questions, just write them in the chat, or let's wait till we finish with the main agenda, but feel free to ask them. If I will see anything in the chat, I will try to answer them right away. So, like I said, a lot of people that registered for today, they are new to eXceed. So let me just quickly give you the information of who we are and what we do. Basically, we are the treatment planning provider, and we are the, as we say, global solution provider for the aligners industry, meaning that we not only do the treatment planning itself, but we also do the production of aligners. We also provide the IT infrastructure for those who want to start the aligner brand. And so far, since 2015, we have launched about 30 aligner brands all over the world, mostly in the Western Hemisphere, meaning United States. We have at least three aligner brands launched there, two of them still active. Both of them approved the FDA, get the FDA approval, meaning that our software, both planning and the case management system, received all the approvals from the federal, how they call it, the drug administration, I think. But most importantly, we own the software that we use, meaning that we're not using the 3D planning softwares from the other solutions, although they could be pretty good. But we decided a long time ago that in order to be able to implement all the clinical and production feedback that we receive from our customers, we have to have our own software. The company is since, I would say, 2015 on the market, originally since 2011, but the international department started to work at 2015. And so far we have delivered 200,000 plans so far. So that goes both to the produced aligners and the aligners produced by our partners and customers. And it's very important to mention that we share our plans only after the supervisory check. So every plan that our customers get as the proposal for the treatment, first being checked by our clinicians. They work chairside, they work all over the world. There's plenty of them. And some of them are very, very experienced. They checked, I don't know, tens and tens of thousands plans so far. And important to say that we also have the bridges with the main intraoral scanners. So if you have the intraoral scanners that is listed here, that means that you are not obligated to export the STL files, although STL files export is the easiest way to provide the STL files. Here, our website. So again, for those who are not familiar of who we are, please check our website. It's pretty informative. I'm personally responsible for this website. So I did my best to make sure that it's, useful. There's a lot of info for those who are into production already. Make sure you visit our tech center. It's called Tech Center. There's a lot of info on aligner productions over there. So you can also dig our YouTube channel, also a lot of interesting info there, but I will be getting to that later. So the workflow is, if someone of you is like familiar with the aligner production, aligner therapy as well, like in general, you might be familiar with the names of Invisalign, ClearCorrect, and all the big names. Basically, we have the same workflow, but instead of providing you the produced aligners, we usually provide the printing models. So you can print the aligners yourself. So if you are a dentist or orthodontist who work chairside, who has the patients and everything, instead of buying the plastic, instead of waiting for the delivery times, you can have your aligners produced overnight, basically directly after the approval. So we call it the second generation aligner provider. With the biggest difference is the fact that due to the digitalization of everything in our lives, you can have your own aligners produced in office. So that means you can have your name on it. That means you can save time, you can save money. And I will show you later on how much exactly money you can save. But this is the workflow as it is. Let's quickly touch the production costs. Basically, you have to produce the aligners yourself, meaning that you will have the cost, not the price, but the costs. So if you will be using, there are different types of the aligner foils. So you can have it like a PTE one layer material that would be very cheap, about 50 cents per piece, or you can have the multi-layer PTU material, which is like a second generation and more advanced. So the price range, as you can see, is pretty huge if you produce a lot. So it's up to you. Basically, before 2000, I would say 21, we were doing the PTEG mostly, and it was working just as good as the PTU. It's just a matter of the patient's comfort and your standards. The printed model itself, it goes cheaper and cheaper. The better printers you have, like the more aligners you produce, it basically goes down and down and down. But we calculated that if you do not produce that much, and you use the regular desktop printers, you will be having your printed model for €1 per piece. Or since we are in Europe, I say euros, but if you are in United States, there were some registrations from United States. You can also pretty much have the same calculations in US dollars. So if you also have a person that produces aligners for you, and that person gets €15 per hour, because you don't have to have the technical, like a dental Zahntechniker Meister for that. You don't have to have like a very experienced person in order to produce the liners. That's pretty basic function. All you need to do is basically cut it and polish it, and that's it, and pack it. So as long as your employee has like accuracy and just common adequacy, you will be good with €15 per hour. I think could be a little bit more, could be a little bit less, depending on the location you're based in. So if this person produces 5 aligners per hour, that means that about €3 per aligner would be the cost for the labor. And then we also have some indirect costs, some spillage, some waste, some rent costs, some learning curve, some legal costs. So we say that the adequate number would be 7, 8, maybe 8 to 10 euros per aligner. So this is the really adequate number, like the cost of the aligner produced in office. So if you compare that to the offers when you can actually buy the produced aligners, for example, from ClearCorrect, I know that they were selling these aligners per piece back in 2020 for €25 per piece. But most of the players, they sell these aligners basically per case. So here you have some numbers, like how much you can make per case, and then how much you can make doing 10, 40, 60 aligners per month. So I'm not going to bother with that because this information is quite variable depending on the location. But again, if you have 30 aligner case and your production cost would be about €300, and the design fee that eXceed charges is going to be about €250, the total cost would be about €500 per case, 5 to €600. So if you work with the liners already, you know that basically you can save at least €1,000 per case, at least. But surprisingly, when I was talking to our customers, many of them, if not most of them, told me that the price factor is important, but it's not the most important. So many of our customers, especially in Europe, especially in Germany, they actually care more about the delivery time, they care more about the quality, and they care about the overall control on the production process. So people that work with eXceed, they usually produce aligners in office because they produce everything in office. So if you're a dentist and you already have the 3D printer and you already have things that you produce, it's just logical to produce aligners as well. So having said that, like I said, we work with the dentist, we work with the dental labs, we work with the aligner production companies. Everybody has different motivation. So if you a production company, we can give you the quality, we can give you the IT infrastructure. If you're producing aligners for your own patients, basically we'll save mostly time and money. If you're a dental lab, you can have the variety of products that you offer to your dentist widened. So you can have more things that you actually can talk about with your customers. And for example, if you produce aligners, if you produce, for example, implants and you work with implantation a lot, sometimes you need the orthodontic treatment in order to make the implant. So I mean the dental Zahnersatz, so the dental prosthetics. And for those dental labs who doesn't do the orthodontics, sometimes it's the lose of the client, because you're not able to do that. You don't produce aligners. So the business that you could be doing as the dental business, as the dental lab business, is going away from you. So you can change that as well. We have, again, surprisingly, in Germany, we have the biggest number of the dental labs that work with eXceed. We don't have that many dental labs in the United States, for example. So let's quickly recap the aligner production process. Basically, we still do that, I would say, not so old-fashioned way, because the true old-fashioned way would be doing it on the Gibbs models. Of course, we don't do that. We have never done it this way, to be honest, because the technology of the Gibbs model, models is very, very old. So we still print the models, and like we do the treatment planning, we do the files generations, model printing, vacuum forming, trimming and polishing, and then packaging. There have been a lot of talks regarding the direct printing of aligners. So I've been hearing that a lot. And I've been hearing that a lot since 2017, when I first joined eXceed. Even though the development of this technology is pretty exciting and pretty impressive, but it's still not there yet. So we have the technology, we don't have the clinical tests, we have the materials, but they have not been tested industrial wise, so to say. So I don't know a single big company that produces aligners with the direct printing. So we still do it by printing the models and vacuum form them. We can also do a lot of automation of this process, but this is the topic of the different webinar. We have it on the YouTube channel. If you are interested, you can check it out. Here, we will be mostly speaking about the, I would say, more or less traditional way of aligner production process for the dental offices. If you are not a dental office, just ask your question in the chat, so I will be happy to answer it. It all starts with the models printing. Let me show you a short video. It's only a minute and a half long. It could be lagging a little bit because it's streaming from YouTube, but again, all these videos, they could be found on our YouTube channel. So basically, it's a regular desktop printer that is being used on the video, and this is our lab, the lab that we use for our own production. It's a Unislash as far as I remember, but I could be wrong, because we will be switching a lot of printers. So we started with the Formlabs, we switched to the Unislash, but it doesn't really matter as long as you have like a 3D printer, like a regular desktop one, you can have it produced. And as you can see, there are different ways to produce the aligners, to print the models. You can print them vertically, horizontally, and here is how you cure them. And important to mention that the files that we are generating, they could be both hollow, they could be both solid, depending on your preferences. So here is the vertical printing with the supports. We also have the vertical printing without the supports. So if you produce a lot of aligners, that all could be relevant to you, because without the supports, you can, and also if you, let me stop the video. As you can see, we can also generate the 3D matrices. So this 3D matrix contains the information for your laser engraving solutions. Again, I have it in the different webinar, but shortly speaking, you can have the camera, you can have the laser that will be writing the information coded in this 3D matrix on your aligner. The case ID, the stage number, and the logo if you want to. Yes. Thank you for input. So I can see that we have some people from Saudi Arabia. Um, I think we have a couple of customers there. I think we have. So make sure you contact me. Make sure you schedule a demo, and we will discuss your particular venture a little bit later. So, as I said, desktop printers, they could be various. Here is the list that we recommend. I think that the video was shot with the NextDent solution. That's what I think. And they cost about 3,000 euros. So I recommend you to have at least two of them because they break sometimes. So when you have your one printer broken, you have the second one, and it will be covering your production uh, while your first printer is being, repaired or something. The vacuum forming, as you can see on the picture, we have a BioStar machine. This is the very good German, very reliable machine. I have it in my office. And there wasn't a single time when it broke. So it's really like a unkillable machine. And I can definitely recommend that when you start. As you can see, this model is lying on this granulate. It's basically not the way it's supposed to be for the aligner production. It has to be on the Festplatte, like not on the granulates. But let's take a look at the video. Don't worry, I'm not gonna bother you with the videos a lot. I think we have like four of them. Mm. So like I said, you vacuum form them, meaning that you have to have the pressure, the air pressure, and then you have to buy the right aligner foils because here, for example, you can see the process of the blocking the, as we call them, tremas. But basically, if you have any space between the teeth, we recommend you to block it with some wax or some blue blocker before you actually vacuum form it. It will make the aligner come easier from the model. So before you vacuum form it, you scan it to make sure that the pressure is right, the temperature is right, and then this is how you actually make the shape of the teeth one to one. So here you cut it, take the aligners off, and then you polish it with the regular micromotor. Um, what is the cost of on production unit? As you will see in the webinar, there will be, I think, I'll get to that later, but basically the printer is 3,000 euro. Vacuum forming, I think it's about 1,500 euros. So make it for 4,500. Then you have the micro motor, I think about 200 euros. And that's basically it. So you can have everything set up under 5,000 euros. Before we go any further, let's make sure that you have an understanding between the single vacuum forming and the multiple vacuum forming, because as you can see on these models, on the BioStar from Scheudenthal or the Drufamat from Dreve or Ercoform from Ercodent, you can vacuum form one model per one approach. So meaning if you have a scaled up production, it could be not enough for you. So you can have the multiple vacuum forming machines. Again, this one is from, I think it's from Scheudenthal as well. You can do up to 4 models, if I'm not mistaken. It could be saving a lot of time. So if you have one, that's how we started, for example. We started with the single vacuum forming, then we switched to the multiple vacuum forming, and then we switched to the Chinese machine that is doing like, I think, hundreds of models per hour. So again, this is not the topic of this meeting, but you can have another level, you know, the level upper. The trimming and polishing part, I think, yeah, that's the third step of the process. The last interesting, I think, because it's pretty basic. You know, every dental model, every dental lab, they have this basic equipment. Basically, you just need to cut the excessive material from the aligner, but still you have different trimming like techniques. You can have the curved trimming, you can have the straight one. Both of them have pros and cons. And again, very detailed webinar on the aligner production tips could be watched on our YouTube channel. I did it with the colleague of mine, with Anastasia, and she covered a lot of useful topics there. So here I'm just gonna give you like a glimpse. And feel free to you know, to write your questions in the chat. So this is the process of the polishing. All you need to do is just to make sure that everything is smooth, nice and pretty, comfortable for the patient, and this is how the liner looks on the model. Shezat, yeah, Shezat. Just I don't see it. Shezat, okay, Shezat Jamil. We offer 18 euros per aligner for the European customers and 21 USD for the American ones. The problem is that I'm not sure if we can ship them to the Saudi Arabia. So if you are outside of the European Union, I would strongly recommend to produce your own aligners, because there wouldn't be a single player in the world, except maybe for the EON aligners from Jordan, that could be able to provide the fast, you know, and problem-free delivery, because all the big players are situated in the United States and Europe, like in the most of the times, and this is the nightmare custom-wise, you know. I've been there, I know what I'm talking about. So just to give you an understanding of what you can be getting from eXceed, and this is the almost last videos that I'm gonna bother you with. This is the machine that we use for the automated trimming. So like I said, we are not able to directly print the liners yet, but if you produce, let's say, starting from 20 pieces, 20,000 pieces of liners per month, you might want to consider the automated trimming. So basically, what eXceed does, if you have the machine already, we generate the files with the trimming line. If you don't have the machine, we can help you to order it and make sure it works smoothly. This one, it took us, I think, 3 years of various tests and, you know, efforts to make sure it works properly. And right now, I would say the 90% of the, you know, aligners, they come out perfect. 10% still have to have some manual finishing touch. So let's go further. Basically, the last video is dedicated to the case delivery. This video shows you basically how we recommend to pack your aligners. So when you work with eXceed, it doesn't matter if you're a premium partner or you're a, you know, just standalone dental office. We always generate the sticker information. So meaning that every time you approve the case, you will receive the information for your printer. So it would be easily for you to print it out and put all these stickers on the aligner bags to make them look nice and professional. So this is how it looks in the personal account. You can print out the summary report, put it in the aligner box or bag, and this way it all looks nice and neat, high quality. Because when I was visiting my customers in Europe, most of them, they were just giving it in the white clear plastic bag, and it wasn't really it wasn't looking nice. Yeah, Shazad, that's good to know. It's just you have the production in Pakistan. Of course, it's much more marginable in terms of the labor costs. But again, it's all about the distribution, marketing, delivery, logistics, and everything. So it's not about the producing, it's more about selling, to be honest. So this is how the sticker looks like. And now we finally come to the part when I actually give you the updates that I was declaring in the mails that you receive or in the LinkedIn messages. Basically, we are evolving constantly. We have the now it's getting interesting. Absolutely. Dr. Ulrich, thank you for your feedback. So we have the R&D department. We invest a lot in that. So meaning that we have, first of all, we have our own clinics. We have our own doctors. We have our own aligner brand. We have the production facilities. And again, we have a lot of feedback. So not only we have, and this is what distinguishes us from the software companies, for example. They have the great planning software, but they don't plan on them, right? People that only do the treatment planning, they don't have the clinical feedback. They don't have the production experience, for example, like we do. People that have production experience, like dental labs, they don't have the clinical, but we have everything. We have the doctors, we have the supervisors, we have the dental technicians that do the treatment plans, and we also have the production facilities. And we have also experience in launching the aligner brands, meaning they have the marketing experience. So it gives a lot of clinical and other feedback. So it allows us to develop our system constantly. So if we are talking about the treatment planning updates, basically we are talking about the round trip movement, the power arms function, new pressure points, and the new 3D browser that is being used for our plans to be reviewed. So first of all, let's talk about the round trip movement, because it's something that we implemented not so long ago. Here you can see how it looks like on the virtual setup. Basically, every time when you have when you need to have the space created and then subsequent gaps closures, so you have like a you do them basically one at the same go, right? And then the vestibular tooth movement is also involved. And like I said, that's something that we implemented not so long ago. If you have any questions, if you want to implements this in your virtual setups, just write it in the treatment plans. So the more detailed treatment objectives you provide, actually the better outcome you're going to have. Having said that, let's talk about the power arms function. Basically, this is something that we also implemented not so long time ago. First of all, let me demonstrate how it looks like. On the setup, you can see those buttons that cover not only as the attachments, they only being placed on the teeth, but this one is being placed on the tooth but also on the gingiva. And this is how it looks in the real life. So you have these hooks that are being attached to this like, I don't even know how to call them properly, these rectangles, and then you use them for the elastics. There's another examples here, for example. They're being used to control the root inclination during the significant mesiodistal movements and to normalize the positions of the root in case of the pronounced root inclinations. This is how I get it from the clinical department. Again, if you have any questions, I may be not able to answer them 100%, but feel free to shoot them to our support email, support@eXceed-ortho.com, and then we will be answered shortly and informative. The new pressure points that are introducing additional points to enhance tooth movement control, they look like this. We changed them a little bit. Basically, here we are talking about the change of the shape of the form. This is how it looked before, and this is how it looked now. And this is how it looks on the models before you print them or on the scans. The last clinical update that I wanted to share with you, it is about the possibility to make some differences in the virtual setup yourself. So all the eXceed customers, they have two options basically. First of all, you can write us what needs to be done differently after you receive the setup, and we will do that for you. Or you can adjust the teeth positions using the eXceed Pro. So if you want your account to be enabled for such option, just again, shoot us a short email to the support team, and you will be your account will be switched to the eXceed Pro version. So if you're using Invisalign, for example, there is like Clean Check Pro. We have the eXceed Pro. So you can have the IPR, you can have the teeth moved, and then you can put your attachments the way you want them. Any questions regarding the eXceed Pro, guys? The only thing that I wanted to add is that since it will be done by the doctor, like the changes will be done by the doctor, we still have to prove them. We still have to send them to our dental clinicians to make sure they're doable. And then after that, we will still have to do the supervisory check to make sure that it's basically doable, you know? So I'm not sure if it's going to save a lot of time, to be honest, because instead of just writing us few words and saying, okay, make this and that differently, you will be doing it yourself. And I think personally that that it is more valuable to spend your time chairside. So that's my opinion. Regarding the aligner production process, like I said, we will be talking about the new material, new elastic buttons, new bars designed for closing the diastemas, and integrated hooks. So let's go one by one. Basically, if you go to our website, and again, feel free to check the tech department. Here you can find the aligners guide. I show it on the every demo, but still for some reason, people are not using it. Here you can have the information regarding the aligner production from A to Z, basically. And here is the list of the aligner materials that we tested and we could recommend. As you can see, as I told you before, there are the PTEG type and the PTU. PTEG is more like a plastic Coca-Cola bottle, and PTU is multi-layer polyurethane. So this is our favorite. But recently, we've been getting a lot of feedback that it's pretty expensive, and especially if you're not in Europe, it could be a little bit hard to find it. So if you're in state, maybe the Zendura is the right one for you. But if you're in Europe, definitely try this one. If you're outside of Europe, basically this is the material that we will be using. We were using recently. We've been doing a lot of tests. So this is it's produced by the Chinese producer. It's called Smile Find THCSH. Like I said, it's an affordable multi-layer PTU alternative. Maybe we will do some webinars with them as well, because regarding the new CEA Pro material, there is also a webinar on our YouTube channel that we did with the Dr. Fabian Karbach from Scheudenthal. And I think I would be able to organize something like that with the Chinese people as well, but we'll get there when we get there. Regarding the new elastic buttons, so this is strictly, it's not strictly, but it mostly comes to the production, because in order to do some movements, you need to use elastics. And before we were mostly putting them on the teeth. And when you do that, you have to do them from the composite. And there was a lot of, I wouldn't say questions, a lot of requests from our doctors who are not that experienced from with the aligners, treatment, because we work with a different type of crowds. We work with the orthodontists. They know everything about the aligner therapy. And we also work with the regular GPs or Zahnärzte that are not that experienced. And for them, the elastics, putting these buttons on the teeth, was somehow always a hustle and a challenge. So by doing this, we could help our customers significantly. And this is how it looks on the virtual setup. This is the new button. This is the old one. So here it was supposed to be the composite or any other type of the button. And here how it looks like on the aligner. So this is the aligner. This is the virtual setup, and this is the 3D printing models. Okay. This one, I think, is no, it's integrated hooks, basically also a thing that we are using for the aligners, but you can see that there is the like cut, that you have to do in the aligner. And it's even better, it's even better, but to be honest, we are doing only the test at the moment. So as soon as we have something solid, we will do the release and we will inform you guys that we use that. But we are using it for the cases that we treat ourselves at the moment. As soon as we are confident in this technology, we will share it with you guys. Okay, so we also been implementing the new bars, designing for closing diastemas and managing missing teeth gaps. So this is how it looks on the virtual setup and on the model. So as you can see, sometimes we call them pontics, but it's not correct. So basically, it's not only for the teeth that they are missing, but also for the big tremors. And that's it. I think we've covered the updates. Just a few words about the eXceed features. So basically, we have, like I said, our own software. We have the My eXceed, where you can upload and manage your cases. And we also have the eXceed case management system that allows you to scale up. And if you have more than 20 cases in your pipeline and several doctors working for you and maybe several practices, or you're a aligner producers that work with the different doctors and orthos. We can also help you to manage your cases correctly and make sure that you are not being drowned in the all these emails, WhatsApp, Excel sheets, and everything. And you do it the way it's supposed to be done. So, like I said, we are not only doing the treatment planning, we're not only doing the treatment, the aligner production, produced aligners, but we also help to launch the aligner brands. And then we have our 44 minutes. I was being as laconic and informative as I could be. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them. If not, thank you very much for your participation. Oh, we have some questions. Just one second. So Dr. Adil Shah is asking, do we need the master degree for opening our own company? It depends on the regulation. I definitely recommend you to have the dentist on board, preferably an orthodontist, just to be sure that you're, because you just need to be sure that although we have the supervisory checks and everything, it's always better to have the dentists on board because they could teach your new customers how to work with aligners. You can teach, you can actually evaluate your cases because one of the biggest hustle is to actually be able to say whether or not this case is being like is suitable for the aligner treatment. And trust me, the new customers that we have, this issue could be the most important one because they come to our like partners, to our customers, and they say and they think that they are, you know, experts in the treatment planning and experts in the aligner therapy, but the companies that start working with eXceed, they're not. Otherwise, they would be on the market for a long time, but they're not. And then just having a clinical person on board helps you a lot. So I wouldn't say the master degree, but the clinical person for sure. Um, Shazad, I would say CA Pro. CA Pro by Dental 0.75 is the ideal thickness for a liner, 1 millimeter for retainer. Well, Zindura, I think it was the aligner material that was used by the Invisalign, if I'm not mistaken. Then they have their own brand, and then it's called Zindura right now. So, but I could be wrong. So, yeah, absolutely. So I think that's it. Then that's it for today. For those who stayed, and I think everybody that joined stayed for today for the rest of the presentation. So I really, yeah, thank you very much, Shadat. I think we're good for now, but let's stay in touch. Let me just here on the screen, you can see my number, you can see my email, you can see our website. If you go to our website, there's basically a button, a demo button, where you can schedule a call with me. So feel free to communicate with us. Like I said, it's on the, let me just write it here. You know what? I have your email, so I will send you a short email. So once again, thank you very much for your evening today, for your registrations. Thank you for being our customers. Thank you for being interested in being our customers. My name is Konstantin. I wish you a pleasant rest of the evening. Let's stay in touch. Thank you, Thomas. Ciao, ciao.